Tales from the wild. Stories from the heart. A journey into the mind and soul of fired-up business professionals where they share their vision for the future. And hear from a different non-profit organization every month as they create awareness of their goals and their needs. Dive into a world of untamed passion as we join our host, Shireen Buerta, for this month's episode of Friends from Wild Places.
Before I move on to the non-profit, Tanya, do you have any more questions for our guest?
Yes. So, Anila, I want to ask you because, especially in Florida, right, for our listeners in Florida, it's a very diverse cultural melting pot, so to speak. But for the listeners that maybe are not familiar or don't have any knowledge of Albanian culture, would you mind maybe sharing maybe 3 to 5, like what type of foods, what is the major language there, like just some fun facts that so we can, Shireen and I both can take away from your conversation this morning with us and for our listeners. So maybe just some highlights of, what is Albanian culture?
Sure. That's a great question, Tanya. The Albanian culture, let me start by sharing with you, it's a very old, ancient sort of community. We go back quite a few centuries, if not thousands of years. And one of the things that, even if people were to go to Albania and be tourists, like just enjoy the country as tourists, they will notice right away that Albanians are known for their hospitality, great hospitality. They love you. They'll go out of their way to really make a difference for your stay, for your experience. Like it's incredible. I can't say enough about that because it surprises me too. Another thing is our food is delicious. I know for a fact, having a mother that, makes amazing dishes, and my sisters, my family, food is also an incredible, incredible joy and needs to be tested and experienced. Amazing food scene. Albania is beautiful to view. There are 2 seas, there are lakes, there are rivers, there are mountains. So you can go in a matter of 20 minutes from a mountain to the sea and then have all these amazing views. It's a small country, but yet very rich in views. Traditionally, we're known to love our culture, to love our people, to love our guests. The language is Albanian. It's its own language. It doesn't derive from other languages. New York Times has written a couple of times about how old the Albanian language is and all the other languages that derive from there. Albanians love God and their guests. The house of Albania is the house of God and the guest, as I shared with you earlier. They work very hard. They're very honest people. They orient their children about education, and they'll support their children during the education period. When they go to school, they'll just tell their children that all you focus on is on school. I will take care of the rest. We haven't gotten into the culture, especially in Albania. Here in America, we are, of course, adapting and shifting our perspectives. But over there, it's still the culture that the parents help their children as much as possible during their education years. Art is fantastic. They express their feelings and their imagination through art. Incredible painters, incredible musicians, incredible writers. They're very much into the sports. So I think I'm giving you a little bit of the depth of the culture based on these pillars of different things that they do.
Mm-hmm. And generally speaking, and I know this is like just a very general question, but most people residing in Albania? Would you say like the majority are born and raised there, or do you have many foreigners or immigration to Albania, for example, for work, or or is the main people Albanian? Like what would one expect if I come visit your family in Albania? I'll make my way to visit Shireen's in South Africa too. So what is it like for me as a non-Albanian person? Would I find mostly Albanian people or a melting pot?
And that's another very insightful question. So I think what has happened in Europe, having the United Europe, people have been traveling from one country to another, and they're definitely taking their talents to different countries. That has impacted Albania as well. So if you were to go to Albania up to maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, you'd find all the workers, the workforce would be 100% Albanian. I have now heard from my friends that has changed. There are people that are coming from other countries and really taking the jobs that some of the Albanians that may have already left Albania and have gone to other countries, they don't do those anymore. In terms of what else to expect, a lot of I've heard of the Italians. We border with Italy by water, and so a lot of the Italians have made Albania their home, and it's a beautiful thing. So also people that are retiring and they were abroad for a number of years have chosen to retire back in Albania. But I will tell you, Tanya, I think there is a large number of people that are making Albania their destination for their touristic endeavors. And so you will find people from other countries. And one of the themes is that this is a lovely country. I wish I knew it was here before, and I'd love to come back. So those are the sort of sentiments that people have after visiting Albania.
Okay, so I'm just going to throw this out there, Anila. I see this in your future of having like excursions to Albania. Like, for example, like Miami to Albania, like, whatever 7-day excursion, like by Anila or something that you can kind of show the highlights and a guided, kind of intimate tour, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my last question, Anila, is as we sit here today in 2026, and you have your book that you're launching, what would you say in a, maybe, I don't want to use the word just goal, that's just like an overused word, but what is your objective, let's say, for the next 1 to 3 years, as far as you as Anila? What do you hope that what's your legacy? What do you want to really get out there to the world and to our listeners?
I would love to share with the listeners first that I have embraced the word for this year is patience. Having patience. I think it's one of the most powerful words for me this year. I think it has to do also with going back and seeing that I was writing 20 years ago, and then it's just coming to fruition 20 years later. Just the mindset of sacrificing, transforming, growing, being dedicated, persevering, committed, responsible, all of that. And so my legacy to the world, or just the world, includes my family, includes my friends, includes my colleagues, includes people in other countries that I may have never met. My legacy is to be someone that is remembered for doing the right thing even when someone is not looking, doing the right thing for the greater good, doing the right thing so that the world that we live behind is better than what we found.
Yeah, truly amazing. Truly, yeah. Well, whatever leadership opportunities present themselves, okay, I'm available for hire. So just throwing that on the record, okay? So whatever your journey is, I want to be part of the journey. So truly, just, I mean, just heartwarming on so many levels. And I say that with 100% sincerity, Anila.
Yeah. It's amazing, Anila. I'm sure you've heard this so many times before, but it's amazing that English is not your first language, but you speak like it is, and you speak so well and so majestically that's I am drawn into what you're saying, and it's an amazing gift that you have. And I absolutely appreciate that in you. But yes, listeners, this is the time that we value most, right? You know that every month we support a nonprofit, and this is important to us because life's not all about ourselves, our jobs, our schedules. Happiness, true happiness, I believe, really comes in serving others. And so that's why I think it's so important to find a nonprofit to support, a community to support. And so this month, we're going to support ourrescue.org. That's ourrescue.org. We're going to have all the information in the show notes for you. But Anila, if you don't mind just sharing with us a little more about the organization and what the organization does for the community, but more importantly, how can we support them?
So I support different causes. With our rescue, this organization came to the forefront after I had attended one of Tony Robbins' 3-day events. And he is someone that is wholeheartedly really supporting the organization. And as a result of that, I made a donation. And then as a result of that, I found out that this organization is located in my neighborhood. Unfortunately, for the moment, I have been so busy to go back and give back and have additional donations. But the organization, the purpose is to create funds and to create opportunities so that human trafficking comes to a halt. We know that human trafficking is a huge, a huge concern because it's not going anyway. When we think it's getting better or we move forward, then we find another way of human trafficking and all of this. So I had made a phone call with them right there and then, and I told them that I would like to get involved. And so I think for 2026, I will take a deeper dive into the organization and then really embrace the work that they're doing and then hopefully be able to also make an impact. And I believe that today it would be a great platform to have this conversation about the organization. And maybe it's a bit of me also saying, this is the organization that I would love to support, but I haven't done enough. And maybe by sharing it with others, that's my way of saying, okay, I'm going to give back, but I'm going to have and invite others to join the organization as well.
Yeah, you're doing exactly that. And we really appreciate you suggesting, because this is a worldly problem. Human trafficking is happening throughout the globe, and it is shocking, it's horrendous, and it's only gotten worse. So listeners, take some time, go check it out. And if you really feel moved to help, assist, donate, I really do encourage you to do that. So with that being said, I think this is fun part of the podcast where we're going to play a little bit of a game. It's called the word association game. I know Tanya's played it with me. Anila, I'm not sure if you've played the word association game. No, okay. Well, basically, we are creating a chain of related words. So we're going to go around the room and start with whoever, and we'll go in that same sequence. And the person that starts with a word, and then the next person has to think of a word that's related to that word. You can't take much time. You must try and keep the flow going as fast as you can without repeating the word. And the other way the game stops is if you can't think of a word. So this will be interesting. Are you
Sure,
ladies?
I have a question. I have a question on this game. I know I've played it with you numerous times, but this question just came about. So with the game, can you do a sequential follow-up? For example, let's say you say a word that begins with the letter B. Can a relation be, for example, a C word, meaning that it's sequential, that it follows, or does it have to relate to the word itself?
I think it has to relate to the word,
The
associate
word itself.
with the actual word itself.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good one. Maybe we should
I don't
twist
know. I
the
just
game
thought of
up.
it. I just thought of it. I'm like, yeah, like almost like it could that be an answer, like for a follow-up. So,
Nice.
okay.
I like that. Okay, we
Okay.
might twist the game up next time. But all right. Who wants to go first?
Let our guests go first. Let our guests go
Yeah.
first. So, Anila, so you can start us off. So you can come up with any word that you want, and then the order you want to go Anila, Shireen, and then myself. Is that okay? In that order? Okay, so Anila, any word that you want, you start us off.
Okay. The words to start is believe.
Did you just say believe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Hope.
Disney.
Ooh.
Fun.
Harry Potter.
Magic.
Festival.
Music.
Rides.
Movement.
Dancing.
Tap shoes.
Acrobatic.
Games.
The game of pinwheel. Oh, I messed it up. You cannot use the same word. So I messed it up. So
We were going
I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
No,
Yeah,
you're good.
I was thinking of the pinwheel game, but you cannot
Yeah.
use the word game. So
Well, that's funny because I think that's the longest time we've actually gone in that
yeah,
game.
that was great. It was great. It was fun. It was fun. I like that word that you started us off with, Anila. It was like very lighthearted, whimsical, inspirational.
Yes,
So yes.
absolutely.
I wanted to get cotton candy in there. Cotton candy is like one of my favorite things. It has so much cotton candy is just a beautiful, like it tastes good, it looks good. It reminds me of like angel dust, angel hair.
Yes.
I think it should be more more focus on cotton candy.
I love that. I agree. I love cotton candy myself, especially if you're walking around in Disney World, actually. It's the perfect time to have cotton candy. I can't believe we've come to the end of the podcast, ladies. I really appreciated this podcast. I genuinely enjoy doing these podcasts overall. It seems to distract me when things are a little bit tough. And just these conversations are so nice and refreshing. And the stories are so inspiring. So I really do love doing these podcasts with you, Tanya, and with every single guest that we ever have. So thank you for being my co-host. Just always remember that I appreciate you and I love you. And Anila, yeah, thank you so much for inspiring us with your story. It is inspiring. It is very scary to come into a new country, not knowing the language, that well, and just starting afresh is amazing. It's beautiful. And so again, I'm really grateful for you and for having you on the show. With that said, a lot of the listeners might be connected to you or have further questions for you or any of us. So if you don't mind just taking a few minutes, just sharing with the audience where they can find you, if they want to touch base with you. Anila, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shireen. I am available via LinkedIn. You just have to type Anila Nicklos in the LinkedIn search bar, and my profile should pop up. I also have an email address if people would feel more happy and in a better way to connect via email. That email is Anila, ANILA, at ICAREMM.com. Anila at ICAREMM.com. Those are the best ways to connect with me.
Lovely. Tanya, what about yourself?
Sure. So for our listeners and maybe some new listeners out there, again, Tanya Scotisi, my main focus is to always speak for the voiceless. That is what I do. I do that in 3 realms. I oversee the mortuary program for anyone wanting to become funeral directors and or embalmers at Miami-Dade College. So I am a full-time professor. I also do senior placement specifically for folks with dementia. So if anyone has a loved one with dementia, sometimes finding a secure place or even understanding and navigating the whole realm can be very, very challenging. There's no cost to use my service. We are a free placement agency with Sunshine Senior Placement Agency. I also serve quite frequently as an expert witness in the area of funeral home and cemetery, both on the plaintiff or defendant side. So my mission and my vision is to inspire those and speak for those who can no longer speak for themselves. So LinkedIn is the place to find me. I'm on there. You would think I own LinkedIn. Many people ask if I do, but I'm on there quite regularly and always here to answer any question. No question is too small. And back to you, Shireen. Where can we find you?
Thank you, Tanya. Yes, you can find me on all the socials. Shireen's Bookkeeping is on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, as well as my personal side of life. As a digital nomad, I do quite a bit of traveling. And my life is there. So you can always check up where I'm at next. And most importantly, Friends from Wild Places, as I said before, are on all the platforms. Please go and comment, subscribe, tell us what you think. If you want to go and see us and hear us, there's the YouTube channel where you can go do the same. But I see you guys. We really appreciate you listeners. I see the downloads, every single one of them, and they are really appreciated. If you do feel moved to subscribe for just $5 a month just to help us out, we really appreciate it. Otherwise, Tanya and I just do this because we really thoroughly enjoy what we're doing, and we just want to try and inspire someone else as much as we can. So if you want to go check friendsfromwildplaces.buzzsprout.com, that's where you find all the episodes that we have, and then as well as the subscription. That's friendsfromwildplaces.buzzsprout.com. And once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. And remember, you got this, and stay wild. Bye, guys.
You've been listening to Friends from Wild Places with Shireen Bueta. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast from the links to catch every episode and unleash your passion.